Welcome back, everyone, to more career mode gameplay of Tony Stewart Sprint Car Racing. Up next is Arrowwood, a track that has been pretty kind to us in the past, meaning that we've generally gotten pretty good finishes here in comparison to some of the other tracks on the circuit, so it's one of our better tracks at this point. I looked back right before I started recording, and we finished 15th here in the very first race of season number 2, so that gives you an idea of what we've done in the past, but of course, we're looking for much better things this time around. Arrowwood is a really fun track, very high banks, and 0.4 of a mile. It seems longer than that, actually, with all of that banking. And so it really comes down to what lane do you want to run, how much traffic are you in, and how hard do you want to push the engine. Our car performance, we lost just a couple of points of performance down to a 64 out of 66. So before we get to the racing, let's go ahead and make our repairs. Our money situation is doing very nice, comparatively speaking. We're sitting with $45,109. And if we come back up to the engine, the reason I say we are doing quite nice is that the engine that we're looking forward to purchasing, again, assuming that we spend money on the midgets as opposed to moving up to the 305s, is the engine performance of 29, which would be a plus 10 from where we are now, and slightly more durability, but that hasn't proven to be much of an issue overall. But it would cost $56,210. So we're about $11,000 away from that right now, which is not that much when you consider the finale is on its way. So that gives us some ideas for where we might be able to start season 3. Again, with some decisions we've got to make before we get there. So our car is fully repaired, plus 66 overall on performance. Let's head to Arrowwood. Practice and qualifying now in the books, and this was not a good start to our race weekend. Practice, we did not meet our goal time. Now, I might have been able to work on a few things and get us down to that 13.05, but after 2 or 3 timed laps in practice, it just really wasn't there, and I would have really had to dial things in to make it, which is not really the point of what I want to accomplish here in the career mode. So I decided to move on to qualifying, and then did not have a good qualifying session at all. Just can't get the feel in the car that I want with the limited time that I'm giving myself here. So this should be interesting. We're going to be starting just inside the top 15 as far as qualifying goes. That puts us in heat number 2, and it seems like we got some work to do.
Number 2. The top 5 move on to the A main. Good luck.
All right, so top 5 is what we want right now, and hopefully we can get some good results because, like I said, the car is just not feeling the way I want it to right now. This is an easy track to drive, so it's not just about the handling per se. It's about maintaining maximum speed. So top 5 is what we need. You can see we're hitting the rev limiter just a little bit at the very end of the straightaway, particularly the front straightaway. All right, sitting here in 4th. 2 more laps. So again, these heat races don't take long at all. So the biggest thing I'm trying to pay attention to right now is just seeing how much faster the top 3 are than we are. Because again, we're wide open easily around this track. And right now, I just don't have anything for those guys. I just can't get any closer to them. Maybe 3rd place a little bit. But overall, the top 2 are just gone. So overall, we'll be headed to the A main, which is one box that we've been able to check. And we'll be starting in the 14th position.
With so many talented drivers, this should be a great race. Good luck, everybody.
All right, starting in the outside lane in 14th position. Let's see if we've got anything for these guys. Not necessarily for the top 5 or even the top 10, but let's see if we can get close to the top 10. That's what I want to do. I want to improve over where we were in race number 1 of the season at this very track. So I'm not worried too much about being in the outside lane. That's kind of where I would prefer to be right now. In these cars with our level of performance, it allows us to really keep the engine wound up pretty good. Let's see if we can make the pass on this guy in front of us. He's sliding around quite a bit on that bottom groove. And oh, he's going to come up to try to block us, which is a good move on his part. Ooh, that was close right there. I stayed in the gas. I wanted to drag the brake, but I decided let's just keep our foot in it and see what we can do. He is right there with us on the inside lane, not giving an inch. All right, again, so the battle here is he's got the quickest way around the track on the bottom as far as distance, much shorter distance, but we've got the momentum in the middle or upper part of the track with the additional banking. Oh, slid through the center right there, overdrove the car a little bit, and you can see it definitely shows up. We need to maintain maximum speed in order to make that groove work up there, and we just didn't have it. So sitting here in 14th position, so we've gone exactly nowhere. We haven't moved forward, we haven't gone backward since the race began, and things have really stretched out in the field right now. So roughly halfway through the race, and it looks like where we started is about what we've got as far as speed. We're racing hard with this guy in front of us for 13th, but that's about it. Everybody else seems to be fairly spread out.
The drivers seem to be getting into a rhythm out there. Great job.
Ooh, hello. Had to get on the brakes right there. He slid right up in front of us. And last thing I want to do is wreck either of us, and especially both of us. All right, so that's going to allow the cars behind us, or at least the car, singular, to catch up. So now this guy keeps sliding up in front, messing up the momentum for both of us. And that's going to cost me a spot if I'm not careful here. All right, so 25th place. How about that? We get the lap a car. We'll take it. Always fun to do that any chance you get, particularly at this point in your career.
Only 2 more to go, folks.
All right, 2 more laps. And I have not seen the leader. Oh, that may have been him right there. I kept waiting to see the leader, and there you go. So we did lose a lap right there at the end of the race, and we'll come home in the 15th position. So 13 cars on the lead lap. Let's just get a quick glimpse and see what the margin of victory was. Was it close? Okay, not too bad. Not quite a second and a half on the interval. So fairly close, but still not wire to wire. And once again, looks like Joey Paxton is the man of the hour in season 2. Where is... There he is, Corey Clay down in 11th position. So things have definitely changed here in season 2 as far as who is the dominant car. Let's now move forward and see what we're going to get as far as our purse money. 15th position gets us $1,553 plus our sponsor and merch payout, which is now $14. Very nice. We need that to continue to improve as much and as quickly as possible, giving us a grand total for the weekend of $2,477. Now let's move forward to the race summary. Once again, we'll get credit for moderate driving. I really don't remember much of any contact in that race. There might have been a little bit, but I was expecting smooth driving because there just wasn't much there. But either way, we lose very little in performance. It's not going to really affect our bank account much, if any. So we'll take our 15th place finish. You see our sponsor goal. I chose a quite aggressive goal for us, 2 top 10s within 2 races, which of course we're now not going to meet. And I did that because the disparity between that particular goal and the one below it in money just was huge. So it really wasn't much of a point in trying to get the other goal. So we missed out on the sponsor goal, but that's no big deal. We gave it our best shot. Total money for the weekend, because remember, we did not meet our practice goal, therefore did not get the sponsor bonus there. $2,477, giving us a new bank account total of $47,586. We pick up 20 new fans, so more than we've been getting on a per race basis. That puts us now over 300 at 308 and 17. So with that in mind, we are now ready for the finale. When we come back next time, it'll be time for Sugar Bush and the huge payout that is available in the final race of the season. That's going to do it for today. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more Tony Stewart Sprint Car Racing.